Hello, welcome back. Please be seated. Welcome back to the panel discussion. This is the number 2 phase, and I just get promoted, so from panelist to moderator. So I will try to be as good as Claudia just before. Okay, so for this session, we have here present with me Prince, Eric, Wayne, Mitchell, that you know, an industry in front of us, our friends Alvin, Esmond, Ishishita-san, sorry, my Japanese is not too good, Osoda-san, and from Singapore, Chin. Okay, so let's start the panel discussion. So these questions are coming from ST community to our distributor. Okay, so 2020 has been, as we said already many times, very volatile and difficult year. From a end customer point of view, what will be the most important for business sustainability in 2021? And please try to select the most critical factor. Can I ask Eric on my right to start with this question?
Hello, everyone. So this year, actually, frankly speaking, the business is quite strong. And during Q1, all of us is worrying what will happen for the business. But actually, in the end, business is very strong, especially in electronic business. And a lot of a new driver like 5G, AI, IoT, electric cars. So more and more application will be there. Also, work from home will become the trend even after COVID-19. So personally, I believe that the demand of a semiconductor from more applications, from more quantity, will continue to be very, very strong in year 2021. Today, actually, probably we can see some of the double booking in the market. But however, I don't think that the customer really have too much stock. So the first message I want to share is that the demand will continue to be strong. The second message, from my point of view, actually this year, most of our customers, they have a good business. Their profit is increasing. Because nobody wants to cut the price. Because they don't have enough parts. So they have a good revenue and a good margin, except distributor. Distributor don't have a good margin yet. So all the customers, they have a strong demand. So let's see, what do they need in next year? For me, all the customers, actually, they need our commitment for delivery. So now, customers are not short of orders. They are short of components. So they want more components. They may have some double booking. But the most important is the visibility we can share to them. So this is the customer's concern. And from our side, and from ST distributor and ST, I think one of the things is very important is that how to allocate your capacity and the products to our customers. So usually I will see one thing is that we give most of the device to those big accounts. If we do this, then we may lose the mind share from those small customers. So I think the smart allocation will be very, very important for ST and the distributors to get the trust, because the business for long term, this time will be very, very important for us to build trust with customers. That's my answer. Yeah.
Thank you very much, Eric. I think the message is clear and loud, and our friend from division, product groups, and so on are taking the ball. So now, one point very important today that we are talking, and which has been accelerated by the US trade war, is the emergence of the Chinese semiconductor manufacturer. Okay, so this is a new threat that were not new because they have been existing, but they are becoming many and many more. So I would like now to give this question to Esmond from Hong Kong. As a European or an American line distributor, how do you view this emerging of the Chinese manufacturers? Esmond.
Okay, let me unmute myself first. Good afternoon, everyone. There's some echo with it. Sorry, there's some echo, so let me start. Okay, indeed, this is an important trend. We see that the China semiconductor market is the largest in the world. China actually consumes more than 50% of all semiconductors, including the internal consumption as well as export. But then they only produce 15%, 16% of the semiconductor for domestic use in 2019. We estimate that the China semiconductor market is at $45 billion US in 2019 and grow 24% to $56 billion in 2020. Now, I think that China semiconductor manufacturer have made very good progress in many areas, like in LED, in optical communication, in MCU, in sensors, power, analog, memory, many. And their uprising actually pose challenges to not only the European American suppliers, but also the distributors. The reasons are that the China semiconductor companies, usually they do not have a lot of or very limited IP protection to the distribution network. Now, when any things happen on the IP, we as a distributor, we are exposed. So we actually are very, very careful onto selecting our partners on how to partner with. Also that most of this, even though they make progress in many fronts in a lot of technologies, they actually operate in the lower end of the technology spectrum, okay, like LED, instead of they mostly dominating on the mid-power. On the power side, mostly on the lower voltage, MOSFET, DC-DC, LDOs, and usually they compete in price rather than performance. Now that is an issue that if they compete on price, meaning that the margin that they can offer to us is also very limited. And as what Eric said, we already operate in a very thin margin. So engaging with a China partner is making things even worse, and that is a challenge to us. Now, the other thing is that the China companies, semiconductor companies, typically do not offer very good demand creation programs. Typically, they do not have incentive programs like ST. They do not have a well-established channels management strategy. That makes us hesitate onto how we're going to invest with the suppliers. Unlike that, how we work with ST, we feel comfortable to invest into ST because that we know that our investment will be protected. Whereas I think these China semiconductor companies typically do not offer as such, and that is a challenge to us. Now, the other challenge that we see is that these China companies like to engage with the China customer directly, and sometimes the China customer want to engage with them direct. It's a bit like the Japanese suppliers in Japan that the Japanese company deal direct with the Japanese suppliers. I think in China it's the same, that it is happening also. So all in all, I think that that is the challenge that we see as a American distributor. I think that inevitably that the China semiconductor companies will continue to grow. As I say, that they grow 24% this year. They will continue to grow because of the Sino-American tension, and also a lot of China funding are actually going to the semiconductor companies. And I think that is important that for supplier like ST, you need to continue to innovate and differentiate. And also that our strong preference is still with ST, because that, as I say, we feel that our investment will be protected and our return is guaranteed. So thank you.
Thank you, Esmond. Now, I would like to raise the next question about pandemic. This is a key subject today, and I will address this to Michel. Okay, because as we know, the COVID-19 has been changing totally our social life, okay, and showing the needs to be more localized. So what I would like, and also to change our business life and to change the way we are addressing our distributors, we are addressing our customer. I would like, Michel, just to know, do you foresee any influence in your organization? Do you plan for e-commerce, digital transformation, smart warehouse, etc.?
Yes, as we know, the COVID-19 did influence all our world and to everyone. But we didn't make a lot of change in our organization because we enable the Microsoft Teams in end of 2019. So when the disease increased, so we are very easy to use the Teams for meeting, for communication, for fighting, for tracking. So it's smooth for us and very fast. For the digital transformation, WPG from the 2015 starting the digital transformation, and from the 2018 we build the online platform like the 大网. It consists of 5 portions of the platform, but the major one is the 大网. It's the FAE and solution platform, and we co-work with ST as a system solution channel, mean SSC. They go live at April of 2020. We try to do the e-distribution for ST in Asia Pacific. Up to now, we are engaged 25 customers, around 4,000 customers to this platform, and reach 25 business or the WPG. It means 5 billion in this platform. It's very successfully. Yeah, and the second stage we will launch from next year is the LAS and BPAS. So from these 2 enhancement, we want to say up to 2025, we will engage 80% of customers on this platform and reach 80% of business on this platform. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Michel. Now let's move to supply chain a little bit, and in particular, one topic I love is stock management, because I'm always complaining that you guys are much too conservative with inventory. You should load a bit more. So stock management is one, for sure, of the most important factor in determining the success of the business, managing inventory, allowing, the free up cash flow. So here, what are the most critical, Wayne? What are the most critical problems and constraints that you face usually for managing your stock?
Yeah, I think the stock actually is a major cost for the distributor if you don't have a right way to management. But the way actually the factor is a lot of factor are always on the list, maybe 10 to 15. Challenge-wise is every year have a new factor coming down. This year have a COVID-19. Last year have a trade war. So that's a challenge for us when the new message come out or the new impact factor come out. Well, maybe sometimes they trigger the demand down, sometimes they trigger the demand up. So that's quite challenging. But those factors, I think there's something like product status, okay, by application, by customer forecast accuracy. I think that's many kind of, also, of course, including like financial costs, up and down. So depends on those of factors also related to the overall environment situation. Maybe you have a different priority set. And then once you have a priority set, then you will know which one is the most important and how you manage that one become the key. So the impact factor always there, 10 to 15 factors always there. So we just depends on the situation, we change our priority. So like this year, I think the most important is the lead time, how the parts can deliver, and individual principle, their manufacturer lead time, their manufacturer priority. So that one actually I think also impact our stock, management way. I keep talk to many customers. The coming 2 years, maybe more years, I think the company so-called IDM, which have their own fab, have their own packaging house, own testing house. And those companies will get more influence on the industry, like ST. I think that will be a big influence on that one. And we need to say that we need to speed up. So I think that we'll quickly sort out all the ST capacity and no worry about a stock, right? Just like some people told me that TSMC told them, well, sorry, this year 2021 wafer allocation capacity already sold out. Please come back. All your order we are booking in 2022. So that's a situation. I think that it become the true situation there. So I think that that's very important for us to get a message in the right message, the right priority, and set your way to manage your stock. Yeah.
Very clear. Thank you, Wayne. We'll not hesitate to come back to all of you to discuss about increasing the inventory this year, like every year. Okay, now I will move to a question because some Japanese distributor asked me when I was on the other side panelist before. They asked me about the strategy in Japan. So now I will revert. I will raise the question to Ishishita-san from Akuto. Is automotive business, as we know, is accounting for more than 50% in Japan distribution. What is your plan to expand non-automotive business such as industrial and IoT market in Japan?
Hello, everyone. So I'm Ishishita. Can you hear me? Hello? Hello? Can you hear me? Hello? Oh, okay, sorry. Okay, so this is a good question for our company because we are handling ST business around 70% from for automotive company. So it is our mission to find the new market and applications. And now we are trying to think about it. In case of Japan, there's so many industrial makers and manufacturers is very famous. And fortunately, we also have many factory automation company like Mitsubishi, Honak, or something like that. Then they also try to change their style because they want to use under IoT business, like sensing business and the monitoring business. So we are following the such kind of the systems with ST product also. And the other hand, the IoT and the AI business, it means like advanced technology business is appearing in Japan so quickly. Everyone try to focus on the AI business. We also think about it. Like SDGs also say the many social matters coming up. So electronics technologies can help such kind of the matters. So we also would like to find the consumer business, industrial business, and also the social business. So I think the many semiconductor distributor also try to handle the module or manufacturing business by themselves. We also try to select the ST product mainly. So this is our way how to find the new business in Japan. Based on the IoT and the AI is better for us. So thank you.
Thank you. So we count on you in Japan for mass market, huh?
Mass market also needed.
Okay, so the next one, I will address this one to Chin in Singapore is about some insight about product lines. Chin, as one of the key global distributor with multiple line, first of all, by curiosity for our friend, I would like to know how do you rank ST within the multiple line, okay? And what are the key ingredients for a company like you, for a manager like you to have a top three, to manage the top three lines?
Jerome, thanks for the question. Future, as you know, has many multinational lines. ST has consistently been the top three line for us for many, many years, right? So when I speak about the ingredients for top lines, being a top supplier lines, I'm sure my other distributors will have the same thought process as well, right? So again, I can refer to ST as a very good example, right? We look at a couple of things, right? First thing first, with regards to how successful distribution can be and how future can be successful with a supplier like ST is product, right? You can't sell ST without good products, right? The products must be able, right, to command a position in the customer. This is a very competitive industry, right? We have again many other competitors, right? So the quality of the product, the functionality of the product, the price performance of the product for us would be a number one criteria, right? So product is one thing. We also need to look into our customer base versus the appropriateness and the fitness of the product, right? Future is in the industrial, medical, automotive, long tail mass market place, right? So if I have a product like a very high-end CPU, it will likely not do well in our customer base. So we need suppliers like ST where there's a key focus, right, into the industrial, mass market, automotive marketplace, right? The product has to fit. It makes our job much easier, right? So I mentioned about quality, right? We serve thousands and thousands of customers, right? The worst thing that we can handle sometimes is the quality escalation that comes from small customers, right? So the quality of product in terms of track record and failure rate part per million is also extremely important, okay? Now, the other thing other than product for us that we deem extremely important would be whether a supplier have a very thought through process in terms of how they want to partner distribution, right? We call it distribution strategy in general. Some suppliers, some manufacturers say they have a channel strategy, distribution channel or distribution strategy. but they treat distributors like just as end customer, right? They just want to sell products, right? They're not looking into how to partner the distributor in terms of sell-through, supporting mass market customer base, right? Looking at how to enable the distributor to support from a supply chain perspective, a broad spectrum of customer. So the distribution strategy is extremely important, and we can judge that by the investment, right? And a supplier put into a distribution management organization, right? For ST, you guys have, besides the business unit, your geographical sales, you will also have independent distribution organization managing, right? Your focus suppliers, your focus distributors. So for us, that's also a sign, right? That ST is serious about distribution being a partner, not only as a customer, okay? So the distribution strategy must also encompass, right? Again, holding inventory is an expensive business, right? You have too much inventory, right? It ties your cash flow, right? You have too little inventory for distribution, right? You can't sell through, right? You can't support your customer well. So distributors to be motivated enough to hold inventory, definitely the supplier must help in times where we are stuck with inventory or when we need to return or we need to rotate, right? So this is, again, extremely important for distribution to be successful. Distribution support also in the form of training, right? After all, besides supporting a lot of mass market customers from a supply chain standpoint, distribution also do the heavy lifting in demand creation, right? Smaller customers, but added up together, it forms a credible demand pool, right? For supplier like ST. So we look forward to suppliers to train our engineers, and when we can't solve a problem, to have a series of escalation for us to bring the suppliers' engineers, right, directly into an important opportunity for us to work hand in hand, right, to solve a customer's problem, right? So demand creation support is extremely important. And we can see from the dialogue earlier on from the SC business units, right, the joint labs that you have in the various technology group, when you open it up to distribution, also that for me is a sign, right, that ST it truly treats distribution as partnership, right? Last but not least, right, again, I think Eric hit the point, right? Distribution is a tough business. We make relatively low margin, right? So when you have a product, right, or NPIs or new products that are profitable, right, then we look upon supplier, right, to generously share margin, right? We understand sometimes when suppliers have a low margin for a product, we need to share the pain. But when you have profitable business, please remember to share your margin across your channel partners, right? Because that will enable us to make a profit, to be motivated to invest more into distribution business, right? So we talk about general distribution support, and last but not least, right, we also look at culture and the human factor, right? As much as I want to push product line through my sales and my engineers and my marketing organization, if they don't like to deal, right, with the suppliers, our suppliers counterpart, then no matter what top-down pressure that we have, it's not going to be successful. So the software is equally important, right? The mind share for the supplier must be very high. This is done through very consistent approach of engagement, right? Whether you are investing in terms of visiting my branches, right? Maybe having lunch, doing more customer visits collectively, right? Solving problems together, right? Not only as, a push for POP, but also make sure that the distributor have the ability to create POS, sell through the products, right? Again, this partnership, right? This cultural fit and mind share, right? Would be extremely, extremely important, right? In terms of how a supplier can successfully engage a distributor, right? And for supplier to maintain at the top level mind share of the distributor. I hope that answers the question.
This is very clear. The only problem is that there was just one part about margin we didn't hear. We couldn't catch the point. It was cut.
I can repeat.
It's okay. It's okay. It's not important.
I think our panel on the stage will agree with me, right? So we need good suppliers to share margin when you are profitable.
Thank you, Chin.
Thank you.
Now let's fly quickly to Hong Kong and to Alvin in Willasseray. Talking about the trade war, another big topic. So, Alvin, with the ongoing US and China trade war, what distribution market evolution are you foreseeing, and both, in China? And what action are you considering to take to address this issue? Your turn, Alvin.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Joron. Thank you very much. And good afternoon, everybody. I think to address to this question, let me go back to the Joron just recently mentioned about the tale of the two elephants and in Africa, right? So we are surrounding it. And let's see how big this two elephant is. According to IMF, end of this year, 2020, China GDP totals will be 73% of US. That means this number one, number two is getting close. So the tension in between these two countries, I think it will not be disappear. So it's sometimes soft and sometimes hard. So for businessmen like us, we are not playing politics. It can change very fast, and we is not in the game. So we have to react fast. When we have a chance, we have to take it, and we have to measure the risk, and we have to prepare to the risk. And how to react in the supply chain, I think it's very important to have a very good cooperation with our supplier like ST, and also to find a good customer. We can work together in those kind of unstable and low visibility market and see how we can capture whatever opportunity we have. So when we're talking about opportunities, and we are talking about China, and let's see what happened in China in this year. Also look into the numbers from IMF. The GDP of China this year, even under the pandemic, we still have a growth of 2%. And the forecast for next year is talking about 8%. So for this, I think it's a very simple answer to everybody, to me. If we select a place to invest, I think sure, we invest in China to capture the economic growth activities. And this GDP, of course, China, on the other side, you have to look into this country. It is driven by the central government policy. Where this GDP from? Of course, some is from export. But because of the tensions in between US and China and also other alliances in the Western world, the import may not be so secure for China. So they rather push the domestic consumptions. So this is the way we capture the economic opportunities in China. So we invest in China, people, the team, to help the local customer to build the product for their domestic consumptions. For this, we can ranging from a lot of applications, like in the industrial area, the infrastructures building of the country, the urbanizations of the country. It is a lot of product related to power, everything. I think it's a lot of good product from ST is good for this area. And we have equipped with our FAE to team with the industrial team in ST, and also in another area like the consumer electronic product. And you can look into another numbers. The middle class household in China is increasing every year. And this group of people, they can spend. I cannot say they're big spender, but what they are looking for is a better product, better life, and a more premium product. They are not just looking for cheap product in the area anymore. So they need to have a more function, how to differentiate the product, everything. And we need to have a new product and good product for this kind of mid to the high-end product. And I'm sure we have a good product to help them, no matter this control or other function of the sensor we have. And this is very good in those kind of premium consumer product. And then this all include like even the automotive, the home appliance, and other entertainment product. It is also good for us for this one. And then the next I want to more focus on is I think worldwide we are talking about the energy efficiency and the carbon emissions, and it is all we help each other. And I'm sure China is one of the initiatives is how to lower down their carbon emissions and the efficiency in energy, how to make the product more efficient and more energy saving. And I'm sure we have a lot of product from all of the different divisions to support us in those kind of design on this product. And there's a lot of area we can explore in our China market, and there is a lot of good thing. With this kind of good economic growth and a lot of good initiative in the market, I think we can invest. The most important is we have the people around the country to make the connection with our customer. We have the good engineer to support the product from our good supplier like ST to make it to become an applications for our customer to realize it, become an application to become a product to be sell to our good customer. And it is the way to get our business. And just on the other hand, about the trade tensions, I don't want to get over a lot because we cannot control it. We just put our eye on this and prepare for the big change, because the change can be very dramatic. But I'm sure if we put our investments in China, and also I advise all of you to put the investment in China, I'm sure in the coming years, the return will be like that. Yeah. That is, I think I answered your question. I think.
Yeah.
I hope
very
that.
well. Thank you, Alvin.
Thank you,
was very clear. Thank you. So now let's move to Tokyo, and perhaps now we are talking about Japan market, because in ST I was saying before we want to grow faster in distribution in Japan. So this question will go to Osodo-san from Nexty. Perhaps Ishishita-san, you don't listen too much, okay? You switch off. So Osodo-san, comparing to our competitor in Japan, what do you recommend ST to do in order to improve our support to distributor, customers, and to improve our position and market share?
Hello, everyone. First of all, before talking about the proposal to ST, ST is the only one among our major line card that provides us the opportunity to meet with the entire management team every year by face, and to discuss strategy and business plan. That's DSC. I would like to take this opportunity to express my gratitude. We hope that ST will continue to do so for a long time. Thank you very much. Okay, let's move to your question. I think ST is already enough strong and competitive in Japan market, particularly in automotive and the consumer market, as ST people said. So just I pick up three, for example, for other rankers and competitors doing well in some particular thing. So first is to set up a development center open to customer. The second is a web-based factory audit, especially using the live camera to the production line. The third is to set up an analysis lab in Japan. The first, ST's competitor is currently setting up a lab where customer can bring their own products and cooperate on the software development and its setting and the design support for application-specific ICs. In the past, they used Japanese mainly, and Japanese IC manufacturer provided careful on-site support to the Japanese customer. But unfortunately, with the decline of the Japanese IC manufacturer, and the result on no plan of new product lineup, Japanese customer gradually becoming more dependent on non-Japanese IC manufacturer now. In such a situation, this measure has been effective, something effective in retaining conservative Japanese customers. I think the target manufacturer or market should be motor customer and FA robot manufacturer. Second, web auditing is particularly effective in COVID-19 environment for Japanese automotive tier 1 customers. Japanese automotive customers require a line audit when they have to adapt ICs, which should be manufactured by the new factory or new line. The factory staff who respond to the customer shall use the live camera to view the inside of the production line. It is so effective in improving CS, promoting design win, and of course, reducing mutual time and cost. The last QA labo will also be effective in increasing market share, especially for Japanese auto market. Our competitors, such as Company I, Company N, and Company T, US company, they also have QA lab in Japan inside and can perform preliminary analysis and generate analysis report to customer. Regardless of the actual level of its analysis, it should be certainly with a point of appeal to, especially for Japanese car OEM directly. Those are my second recommends or some comments. That's all. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you very much, Osoda-san. So I didn't hear about pricing, so I'm quite happy and confident. Okay, so now continuing on the US and China trade war, and now I will back to Taiwan. I will address this question to Prince. How do you capitalize on ST line to benefit from the ongoing US-China trade war? And what do you do to prioritize ST solution compared to the local competition? And also, how do you defend ST socket towards the local competition? Prince.
Thanks, Jerome. I think this is 3 questions. Yeah. So I want to thank Alvin already answered a lot of about the trade war, that one. So I want to add on here is companies, the Astor and the European the supplies. I believe that ST will take all the advantage of the US and the China's trade war, because of you know that China will promote one is their local brand is made in China, and the second one would be the European brand, the supply. And for the US supply, I believe it's the will be prioritized to be back to the last one. So I think the ST should have the very good advantage of this one. And for the second one is the ST have very broad the product portfolio and the reliable the quality. So I believe it is no issue we can gain in this market. And for the last one, how to compete with the local the brand. This one, I think we need to we need to offer the very good of the product and also the engineering to support the design chain, and also to reduce the design chain, and also reduce the customer the time to market, to let them to be more competitive in the market. That is my answer. But the last one is we still need more margin to support that one. I forgot. I must emphasize this one. I think all the sitting in here and also the panel, All my friends, they all support margin, margin, margin. Because it's very important in Taiwanese side, we need to emphasize 3 times because it is important. We need margin, and more margin. That's.
So, okay, I have some problem with my right here, so I didn't catch everything. Thank you very much, Prince. Next question, so we move very close to Eric. Industrial segment is very important, as we mentioned in the various presentations, very important for ST, and in particular in Asia. It is generally pretty fragmented with high potential and long lifespan. What is your plan to develop industrial business together with ST?
Industry segment definitely is very, very important. And frankly speaking, this area actually is very good for distribution to develop business as well. So, but industry business actually is a lot, will involve a lot of customers. And then those customers, some of them actually small and medium size only. So for me, actually, I think that what we need to do is first, we need to go wide. So go wide means that we need to engage more and more customers by quarter, by month. Continue to approach new customers. Secondly, we need to go deep. From those customers, we need to select those potential customers, then have more support to them. Next one, I think, is that ST already have a very good plan for competency center. And actually, for those customers, actually, application support is much important than those big accounts. So we want to make sure that we can successful. I think we need to give them more application support. And I'm very happy that ST has so many competency center, and we are expecting to have more engagement with you about this. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Moving now to Esmond in Hong Kong. Concerning the promotion of our product, do you have any plan to promote semiconductors with modular system application approach? Okay, including software, use of EMS services, in order to increase your profit margin and the value to the end customers?
Yes, definitely, Jerome. Anything can increase margin is important for distributor. So definitely, this is our core strategy of selling, the semiconductors with module system and application approach. In fact, that 3 years ago, we acquired an IDH called eInfo chip, which can provide a total system solution, hardware, software, as well as EMS service to the customer worldwide. eInfo chip has over 1,500 engineers. They actually provide all kinds of solutions. And actually, this approach, we expand even further in 2019. We partner with a freelancer, which is the world's biggest freelancing engineering service provider, to launch a service called AeroPlus. Now, AeroPlus is a platform which enables customers to send in their request to find support on the web. They can have access to over 500K specialized engineers worldwide to find solutions for them. So this is another approach that we can enable customers to find a quick turnkey solution. And we believe that this is our true differentiation from our competition. And we can provide one-stop shop total solution to customer, from design, from logistic arrangement to manufacturing. Now, I'll give you a recent example. We actually designed in a pretty unique product into a module partner together with a software IP. Now, this software module partner also becomes our module supplier. And in turn, we actually push the module through our global network. So we actually truly welcome this kind of a double dip. In fact, that sometimes we triple dip business model. And that is a way that we can enhance our value and margin.
Okay, thank you, Espan. This is clear. Now we move out. I mean, we stay in the industrial, but now we move to mass market. And mass market, I would like to ask Michel. Michel, what are your views on the mass market? Is growth in the countries of Asia Pacific? We have in particular countries with mass market like Indonesia, India, Vietnam. What are the specific actions that ST can take to better address these markets?
As we know, the APEC area consists of many countries, and it's very complex and with different culture and different economic level for each country. So, be honest, it's very hard to do the demand creation for the mass market. But from these 2 years, it's changed. We see maybe we'll reduce the labor cost of the U.S.-China trade war. Many Taiwan company, many China company move some of their production line to the mainland, to the India, to the Thailand. It's not the product, but it will influence the infrastructure of this country. So if we say it's difficult to build their demand creation to mass market, but it will help this area to enhance their local design and the manufacture capability. That will help both not only for the business move to this area, but the local design will enhance. So I have a little suggestion. One, must watch out and monitor what the customer, what's the business move to this area, and to find the accessory business for this OEM locally. And two, we try to find more bars and IDH and bring ST the total solution to them, help them, train them, and to build local design capability. Use their local power to extend our mass market. It will be fast. So in this area, the population is very big, and so we should focus the local buying power and local demand. Also, in the future, local design, local purchase, local delivery is very, very important. So we will keep to invest and see their growth with the ST. Thank you.
Thank you, Michel. Now let's move to Alvin, back to Hong Kong and talking about automotive. So we said and we discussed about one of the potential restart, I mean, and which has restarted already since at least 2 quarters. Automotive is going back. So Alvin, what do you think about the production of vehicles in China and the recovery post-COVID of the automotive in China? What are your views?
My view is the supply shortage from ST. Okay, but just kidding. Okay, I think this if you look into the recent announcement or recent news from the CAAM from China, actually they helped me to answer your questions already. The second half of this year, it is really a great rebound with the recovery of economic activities in China, and of course also because of the government policies in China to support the automotive industry. This year, the total car productions is talking about 25 million, just only 2% drop compared with last year under such pandemic situation. I think it's a very good result. And they forecast next year, this could be about 4%, which turned out to be about 26 million car production and sales in China. Although the growth on number of car sales may not be very fantastic, only a few percent. But we always, I think you and us, we always look into the automotive industries. Is the new car come out with high electronic contents, and also the new energy car growth. Next year, they're talking about 40% probably went up to go up to about 1.8 million set. It is all, they eat up a lot of electronics. When they eat up a lot of electronics, it's our chance in this market. And this market, if you look into China, it is not only just to build a car and sell a car. I just mentioned in my previous answer to another question is the GDP growth in China. China government have to maintain and continue a reasonable GDP growth to keep the employment rate in an acceptable way in the country. And this, the importance of the automotive industry is not just make a car. This is a huge supply chain in China, from the raw material like steel or aluminum and a lot of things, even plastic or power, is all included in this supply chain. Is talking about a lot of employment. So the policy of the government have to support this industry. So with the backup of this kind of support, if we don't invest on this area, I can't find an excuse. I cannot find an excuse not to invest into this industry and how promising it is. And they are also targeting in 2025, talking about 30 million car, but this is just a number. The number is just to show the confidence of this country to support this industry. And I'm sure to partner with ST. ST is one of the key and the winning semiconductor manufacturer in the automotive industry. And we partner with ST to develop the automotive industry in China in the past 10 or 15 years. And we are happy with the result. And we are sure we are continue to partner with ST. We can get more and more results with our overall investment, because the beauty of this industry is the entry barrier is high, but it can sustain. It is what we want to have. And we all distributors just mentioned, we want more margin. And this industry, of course, because it can sustain and the entry barrier is high, I'm sure we can protect our margin. Thank you. This is all my answer to you, Joron. Hope you like it.
Thank you, Alvin. Thank you. I'm starting to understand margin.
No more this word. No more this word.
Okay.
I guarantee.
No more,
No more.
Prince, huh?
No more.
So now let's talk a little bit about business anatomy with Ishishita-san. As a distributors, you are our arm and our eyes in the market. Okay. Are there any promising new application, new market, Ishita-san and Akuto, that you would like to focus more? That we focus more, we invest more? And what kind of growth do you foresee in this new application? Please.
Okay. So I'd like to answer to you against your question. So as I told you, the Japan side, so we would like to find out the new solution with the AI or IoT or something like that. Then finally, you also said the mass market. So this is a key point for us, because many startup company would like to make the new technologies and applications. So it means it is our good opportunity to find out the new customers in the mass market. These customers focus on the future business, so we follow up such kind of the customers. And application say the automotive, consumer, industrial, everything should be connecting by the 5G. So we also would like you to find out the new technology and the investment, the AI and the IoT business and the product. And the distributor also try to study all of the technologies and bring it to the customers with the software and service also. This is our value with your product. And we also would like to invest our staff and organization. Many things like even though the trading company make the labo and the R&D. So that's why we need the margin from our customer and the suppliers. Oh, sorry, so I'm saying something, something. So this is our forecast on the new technologies in Japan side. So thank you very much.
Thank you, Ishihata-san. So now let's talk a little bit about big data. And this I will go to Singapore, to Chin. How are distributors adapting to the big data era and make use of it to better plan demand and inventories? And how can ST contribute to this transformation, Chin?
So as a business rule and a policy, right? Future Electronics is obsessed with data, right? So we want to collect data on every facet from a customer, okay? Because without data, distribution is no more better than a logistic distributor, right? For us to survive in the semiconductor distribution industry, we need to understand what the customer is buying, what the customer may buy, who he's buying from, what his buying price if necessary, right? What is his inventory situation, how is the supply chain situation, right? So any form of data must be collected. So that's why I say future, and I'm sure other distributors, my fellow distributors, will be obsessed with collection of data as much as possible, right? So the second thing, right, again, a lot of the things that we do as distributor is risk mitigation, right? Again, we don't make very high margin. So any mistakes that we make with regards to holding the wrong inventory, giving the wrong payment terms to the wrong customer will result in big losses, right? So the knowledge and the data collected about what inventory to buy. So I give you an example, right? So internally in future, we classify an inventory with 9 different categories, right? The highest category would be inventory that we will go and buy and stock up as much as possible, right? Because we have a lot of customers buying it, we have the data for it, right? The last category would be inventory that we try to be extremely careful of, right? Because it's chip and debit products, one customer buying globally for us, right? And we tend to be very careful because if we make mistakes with those products, it will wipe out your entire annual sales, right? So I would say data collection, right, would be extremely, extremely important. And when you have a very, very broad customer base, like 10,000 customers, right, you start to gather this data and you organize this data, right, in a very, very systematic, strategic fashion. So how can ST help us, right? ST, again, I'm sure you guys are collecting loads of data, right, about who's buying what, about your competition. For a start, maybe you can look at your website, right? So customers like to go to ST website because your website has a lot of information, has a lot of design guides. Perhaps you can share with us, right? What are the popular part numbers, right? If you have a heat map on what the customers are looking at, maybe share those information with us so that we know what to stock, right? We also want to stock the right part number, right? So that we can help grow your NPI. If you have also customers that are having problem in other distributor, right? Maybe you can share those data, right? So that the distributor that's appointed don't make the same mistake. Okay, so we also sometimes see in our industry, bad customers get passed along from distributor to distributor. Supplier has data visibility, right? So this one you can share with us so that we can help protect distributors in general. The other thing I think would be tremendously helpful, right? Again, in this day and age, I still find it hard to believe that lead time is published, maybe updated once a month, sometimes once a quarter. So can ST possibly think about giving us something close to a real-time lead time guide, right? So we know you have WIP or whether you have we have raw material, right? You have inventory in your warehouse. When you are very, very prepared to build something very quickly, right? We will hold less. We will hold less of the part number and invest into other part numbers, right? So again, this is all to mitigate risk, right? We have to work collectively together, sometimes share some of this data, right? So to help one another.
Okay, thank you, Jin. Now, next question is about is on 5G. Okay, and I will just make a small move on my left to Wayne. In 2020, 5G did not contribute much to the market expansion, but in reality, 5G is considered as key driver for IoT, for AI, for industrial, automotive. In which market segment, Wayne, do you foresee 5G to enable the transformation? First.
Yeah, I think the 5G is just one generation or so-called communication generation, 5G. Next year or maybe a year later, we're talking about 6G. So I do believe the coming few years, even more exciting for us is communication, AI, and also the green energy. Those will totally change our lifestyle. Bundled with the content and data, that will be the key. People will know how to use that one. So for 5G, I think the exciting for us for the coming years, especially we are in the semiconductor industry, is those individual like 5G communication and AI and also the green energy. It's kind of the infrastructure build, but it's not just by itself. It can become in many different type of the platform. So, like an EV car, you have AI, you have 5G communication, and you have a solar put together as an ecosystem. So those kind of the technology become very key for us, and you can put in many different kind of the platform. You can use it. So that's a kind of exciting for us. So talking about 5G, which one we are most early transform to be the business number, okay? We are not talking about margin. We are talking about turn to number, and then we have a chance to make margin. So I think that will be the first one will be still in the telco and hyperscale data center guys. They get ready. Then 5G can start to sell something to the end customer. You have a 5G phone, but you don't have a telco provide all the good content, good bandwidth to them. It's very hard. So that one, I still believe, especially this year because of COVID-19, those telco and hyperscale people almost not possible to build their new system. So accumulate a lot of the energy for us, business energy for us for the coming years. So that one will be very exciting for the coming few years. But like a data center also face a big challenge because they consume too much energy. So the green energy is another one. So that's the kind of the application is in different, platform. You will get used to and will merge to your life. So that I think, I do believe that those kind of the three infrastructure technology will be totally change our life, and we will continue to drive the demand. So that's from my point of view. Yeah.
Okay, thank you, Wayne. Now we are going to the final two questions, and those two questions are about the market. Okay, so the first one is for the automotive market in Japan. and this will be to Osodo-san. The automotive market demand in Japan has been greatly affected by COVID-19 in 2020. Do you foresee a strong recovery in 2021? And are there any new opportunities in automotive market linked to the post-COVID or to the COVID?
Yes. As for Japan's automotive market in 2001, Japanese OEM have not fixed yet the annual plan actually. And the Toyota, they originally planned to fix and decide the internal budget for annual production number for next year in December this year, but it was postponed to next month of January. Comparing to the Japanese OEM sales number in first half of this year and second half, the second half would be around 30% up against first half. So if we calculate that the sales volume in next year will be almost double of this year's second half, maybe next year's sales number should be around 15% up from this year. And regarding with the new demand for COVID, it's very difficult. For example, sterilization function, air cleaner, and CO2 sensor, like aftermarket product, and the need for non-contact technology should be occur several years future, is also mentioned. But however, one of the most significant change, I think, due to COVID-19 is the previous trend of expanding sharing car had returned to purchase own car due to concern about the spread of infection. In fact, although the production number of vehicles decreased a lot in the first half of this year, due to the COVID-19 and the material loss, the market demand itself for finishing vehicle has not decreased. And it results in the depletion of the dealer inventories and waiting list of several months for delivery car. And from now, it's totally different from the story for the COVID-19. I think the elimination of gas-powered vehicle announced by government in 2030 will mean a rapid increase in the demand expansion for batteries and power devices. Power devices such as IGBTs, SiC, MOSFETs, power transistor, etc., will be required at least, I think, 10 times more than the existing engine car. As a result, OEMs and all the tier 1 will have to secure supply quota for power devices. On the other hand, Japanese manufacturer like Mitsubishi or Fuji Denki, which have limited investment, will not be able to respond for it. By comparing with European competitor, iCompany, they currently hold the largest market share, of course. We expect Etsita to increase its power supply and not power supply, its power volume, and invest aggressively, especially in the 12-inch lines. This is my comment. Thank you so much.
Okay, thank you, Osodo-san. Now let's finish with the last question for Prince. Okay, Avnet serving globally the market. In what way have the distribution value chain activities been impacted by the COVID pandemic for you, and what do you see the new normal to come or the after COVID? How do you see it coming?
Thanks, Jerome. I think the next door already, the party already is the.
There is a party on the next.
We are still so tough for this panel discussion, so I will cut it very, very short. All my friend, this is the new norm. Okay, so now we need to be flexible to fitting this kind of the new norm. Is within this the pandemic, so this is the new norm. We need to most utilize our digital the tools to get more the communication with that. So I think the more and more the logistic and the support is also very, very important. Whenever you sell, so you PM, your FAE can using the Teams or Zoom or Webex to communication with your customer. But if you got the order, you still need to move the box. Okay, you still need move the box to the customer side. So, and due to the vaccine will be come up soon, so I believe it a lot of air company they already booked by that one. So we all know the freight cost will be increased a lot. But I already guarantee to Jerome, I will not mention that word anymore. So we need profit. Okay. So I already swear I will not mention that word thing. So they all miss their commitment. They always mention that one. We need profit. That is.
Okay, thank you. This is concluded very well. Thank you, Prince. And again, I want to take this opportunity. Every year now is the second time, but we have this panel discussion with our partners and friends. No filters. They are really answering without filters, and this is also very good for all of us. So I want, again, a clap and applaud for everybody, and thank you so much. So this is the end of the plenary, and then we join at 8 p.m. for the team building for the one who want to have a bit of exercise. Huh? Thank you.
Thank you for your participation. Thank you all.